You are listening to the Frankton Eagles Report, our weekly look at the Frankton boys basketball program with head coach Brent Brobston every Wednesday on the Central Indiana Sports Report. We'll also be recapping all of Frankton's boys basketball games, including Friday night at Madison-Grant. Please join us.
I am back with Coach Brobston in our weekly discussion about his team, and we're joined by Coach Mark Drake to talk about this week's team, and then we're probably going to talk some other stuff here with Coach Drake. And want to go back to the Lapel game, the practice since Lapel. How's it been?
Monday was good. It was getting back in here, discussing some of the things that we needed to get corrected, talking to the kids a little bit about some of the things that we think that they need to be better at, and just getting back in around each other, because it was a tough loss. Obviously, a disappointing loss, because it was a great basketball game, and you got to give credit to Lapel. They earned it at the end, and it was a good basketball game against a very good team. So for us, we just got to get back in here and get better, and that's what we did on Monday, and that was good for us to get back together. Tuesday, about the same thing. Just getting at it and getting back on the court, and a lot more court stuff Tuesday.
Doesn't seem to have brought them down any.
I think so. I think it did initially, but I think that they realized the big picture is not that game. So that game just made us better. It exposed us a little bit in a weakness at the end that we need to get better at. And, there were spurts also that were exposed. There's no one play that made that game. So there's a lot of things we go back on that we could have done better. And there's no individual in that game that cost us anything. It's a team effort, and we've just got to get better at some things that we did throughout that game that we know would have helped us win.
The bad news is they scored the first 11 points, so you got to be better from the start. The good news is then you go from 11 down to 17 up, I think.
Yeah.
So you outscoring by 28 for most of the game. And then, of course, the bad news was what happened in the end. But there is good news to take out of it.
No question. I think one of the biggest challenges was we were down 11-0. We could have gave up. Our kids fought back hard in the game. They showed some maturity, and we were able to get back in the game and get up 17. And that was that run right there of the 49-21 run was probably one of the best runs I've seen in this gym in a long time from a high school basketball team. And
particularly defensively, I thought.
Defensively, it was phenomenal. And offensively, we were transitioning very well. We had guys hitting the offensive boards really well, and we were shooting when we were open, we were taking open shots and really knocking them down. So it was an impressive run. And then you had to expect Lapel to do the same. And so you saw the same thing out of Lapel. They didn't back down. They came back. They made a run. And then we made another run at the end to get up 8. And then Lapel, obviously, in the last minute, we were up 6, and they made another run to finish it off and win the game. So it was one of those games that if you were probably a fan in there, you absolutely loved watching.
Have you ever been part of a game that had that many different double-digit runs in it?
It's been a while. I tried to kind of compare it to like a sectional versus Wapahani, where you'd have an up and down run. Maybe you're up, then Wapahani's up, then you're up, then Wapahani's up. But that was quite a few runs in that game, and it showed a lot of resilience by both teams.
So now you put that one in the past. And next up is Madison-Grant, a conference game. You have not won a conference game yet. Madison-Grant's at the bottom of the conference, but as you and I were discussing before we started recording, it's a team that can, if playing their best, can definitely give you problems.
Absolutely. They've got explosive guard play, Barnhart, and they, on film watching them, they've also got strengthened up some of their big guys underneath. They're big and strong and physical. And when you look at them, the 44-41 loss to Eastbrook. Eastbrook's a team that beat us. They've had spurts of where they played really well. The first half versus Monroe Central, right. Very close game. So, yeah, it's, you go to Madison-Grant and you go over there, they're going to be ready to play. They're going to be well coached, and it's going to be a hard environment to play in. So there's nothing we can do other than come there ready to go and ready to play hard.
All right, Coach. What do you think a key or two will be against a team like Madison-Grant?
Right now, we've been hitting the offensive boards extremely well, so we got to continue to do that. Defensively, we've played extremely well in situations defensively. I think that's been all year. I think coming into the Lapel game, we ranked 20th in the state in defense, and that's out of 10 teams. So that kind of shows you where we're at defensively. Our strength of schedule is strong. We've played a difficult schedule, and so I think that we're well prepared to play against anybody. But at the end of the day, we better go in ready to play and ready to defend and rebound. And those are the two biggest things in high school basketball. They're the two biggest things in basketball, probably. When you get to the college level, the NBA level, you got to defend and rebound. The teams that do those well usually advance.
I would argue having a ball handler, but
I was going to
You
tell you taking care of the basketball too.
yeah.
That's one thing we haven't done well. And well, I shouldn't say we haven't handled the basketball well. We went 8 turnovers, and then we had a turnover 13, and then in this game here we had 20 or whatever. So we've proven that we could handle the ball at times against Wapahani and Heritage and teams that were good teams where we only had 8 turnovers, and we've just got to treat the basketball like gold and take care of it.
Before we get to Coach Drake, who knows a little bit about taking care of the basketball, he knows a little bit about good basketball teams as well. Okay. Yeah. Coach Drake wasn't here last year. He's back this year. What does he bring to the program?
Enthusiasm. He's been here longer than anyone, including myself. So he brings that stable environment for us, and somebody that's been here forever. And
we're old, Mark.
Well, for him, it's awesome to have him back. Fun to be around. Kids enjoy playing for him. They always play hard for him, and it's nice to have him back around. It really is, and it's he's the all-time winningest JV coach in Frankton history. So we always tell him that. So and he is. He passed his dad up on that. So no, it's great to have him. It's just great to have him back in here, and he started with me. We went 15 years together, 2 years apart. Now he's back in here, and it's nice to have him back around.
He and I played on a youth basketball team together.
I do believe that. He was passing. He was trying to screen for you all the time.
Was he? I thought he had the ball all the time. I don't think I've ever watched a game where he didn't have the ball most of the time, which is good. He was a great passer, but a ball-dominant guard and a really, really good one. That's how I remember it directly.
That's a good thought. That's a good thought.
I remember you having the ball
exactly that way.
Up the court every time.
Yeah.
There was never a time where Mark Drake wasn't bringing the ball.
I was a nice role player back in the day.
That's correct. Yeah, it was a very big role.
Yeah.
It really was, especially leadership-wise. That's the kind of guy he is, right?
Absolutely. He was a great leader for the teams he played on, and you're talking about, I still think probably one of the best teams to ever play here in 91.
No question.
And that team was all about team. So when you go back and look at stuff, we've honored that team once since I've been here, and we brought them all back, and they were fun to watch.
They never officially won championships, back in the single class sectional day, and still they're just as special, that team, as the ones who have.
Yeah, people remember that team. There's a lot of people here the night we brought them back just a few years back, and if they would have had class basketball and they would have been in the 2A class at that time.
I've said that forever.
Yeah, it's hard telling what they would have done. And they went up against the giant schools in the Anderson sectional and all the way to the finals, and had a spectacular year. So
really had a chance to win that game too, as people remember. And I always say that Anderson Highland went on to lose in overtime to Glenn Robinson, who went on to win the state championship. So clearly you were the third best team in the state.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. The 91 team was.
Yeah. Right there, the regional.
I think I'm pretty sure that Jason Whitaker maybe in that final game was 7 for 7 from 3.
He had 30 points.
I know he had 30 points in the sectional final. So that was a good team. And then of course Highland was awesome then too. I mean, had Alan Darner, but then Zachary Ash
and the biggest front line that you'll ever see in high school.
6'10", 6'8", 6'9".
Not that talented, not that skilled, but huge.
Yes, huge. Correct.
They were a team that was dominated by their guards, but huge. A rare team like that just they had a bunch of big guys, but their guards were the reason that they were. Yeah. Oh, good memories. Hey, let's talk a little to Coach Drake. Coach, tell us a little bit about this team and what's its personality and its identity, this current team.
This team, this is a bunch of kids that they're willing to do whatever, Coach B says and what we say. They'll run through a wall for you. And, defensively, they're the best I've seen here in a long time. And we struggle sometimes with some offense. But I think that's just some of that's youth. Some of that's just they prepare themselves well every week for defense, and we kind of hang our hat on that. And that's kind of what carries us through every game.
Some of that is losing a point guard very much like yourself that was kind of ball dominant, and replacing a guy like that isn't easy.
Losing Joey and Carmack was big last year, and now they've had to replace those points, and that's tough to do. We've been we're 7-4, and we very well could be 9-2, 10-1 right now. Just if we'd have shot a little better in some of those games, because we've only really one game we got beat bad was Eastbrook. And so every game we were there. Our defense allows us to be there. Those kids, they really, today we did all of our defensive drills. We do them at least twice a week, and go over them and over them and over them. And so that carries over with this bunch. And I think the offensive stuff, like we were better today. This was a good practice. I thought both teams were better today. They moved the ball well. We shot better. They were more crisp. And coach is on them every day about triple threat. When you catch the ball, be ready. Fundamental. It's always about fundamental. That way, it always carries over. So. They always say practice makes perfect. Well, it makes permanent too. If you do it right way, you're going to do it. In the game, you're going to do it the right way. So they're a nice team. They're a good bunch of kids. They're learning, and we're trying to just get better every week. And I think we're doing that. I think now, and we've got a lot of games coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun, and some more conference games. It'll be fun. Madison-Grant's always a tough one. It's up there, so I think it's going to be a good little stretch here towards the end of the season.
You know what it takes for a makeup of a good team? You've been part of one. Does this team have what it takes to be that kind of team?
Yeah, definitely. They're good kids. They listen. The most talented team we have? No, not in the last 10, 15 years, but they'll, like he said, there night when it was 49-32, that was some of the best basketball men in this gym for a while, because they did everything correctly. They were very crisp defensively. We gave up 2 points at that point in the second half. And so, they're very capable of going on a run here at the end of the season if we can play the way we have been and maybe win a few games in a row. But yeah, no, they're very capable. Yep.
I know that coaches probably don't like to talk about end results, but what if it does become a really good team? Can it accomplish?
Oh, they can win the sectional. That's our goal every year. Beyond that, I don't know, but they're good enough to win the sectional. We've already proved that because we probably played one of the best teams that are not in our sectional. So, we were right there. We outplayed them in that game. We probably should have won. Even Lapel people have told me that. So, we're there. That's the end result. And if they continue to improve, well, will we do that? I don't know. It depends on other teams too, but we'll be right there at the end of the year to get to that goal. So.
Thanks so much to Coach Brobston and Coach Drake for joining the Central Indiana Sports Report. Thank you so much for listening. If you're interested in seeing the Central Indiana Sports Report continue to grow and thrive, please do us a huge favor and share this podcast with a Frankton Eagles fan in your life. Help us spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. Go Eagles. The Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.